In this video, I'm going to be breaking down what you probably didn't notice during your first watch of the 2K25 builder reveal. Now, for the first thing that you're going to notice is that right here, when the person puts up their driving layup to a 99, notice that float game doesn't go to the legend badge tier. It stays at Hall of Fame. So if I could make an educated guess, I'm going to assume that legend float game is probably tied to 99 driving layup and then in additional attributes. So probably like a 85 or 90 close shot. And then for the next thing you probably didn't notice is if we rewind this clip, notice how when you put up your driving layup, how much the ball handle and the speed with ball goes up. It goes all the way up to a 94 and an 84. If we compare this to NBA 2K24, when we put up our driving layup to a 99, you could see the ball handle only goes up to a 54 and the speed with ball only goes up to a 39. It's a major difference. And now the next thing that you probably didn't notice is that this new badge called Lightning Launch, which is basically like your speed booster. If you notice, all you need is a certain speed with ball attribute in order to get it, in comparison to NBA 2K24, where we had to try to get a certain ball handle, speed with ball, and speed or acceleration rating in order to get a certain speed booster badge. Now I feel like with this change for small guards, it's gonna make them more viable and create a separation from a small guard build and like a tall guard build, because now as a guard you only have to focus on getting one attribute compared to last year where you had to try and get so many attributes just for your speed booster, and then you didn't have as much attributes to try and get like certain shooting badges and finishing badges. Like you kind of had to be restricted in what you could do as a small guard. And now for the next thing you probably didn't notice is that in NBA 2K24, you only needed a 85 ball handle for gold ankle breaker, but now in NBA 2K25, you need a 93 ball handle to get gold ankle assassin. And what this tells me is that they're probably going to be more like ankle breaker animations, but it's going to be restricted to like playmaking type builds that have more points invested into ball handle, unlike this year where like we didn't get as much ankle breaking animations, which I don't really care for too much, but it was more so a whole bunch of 6'6s with like an 87 to 92 ball handle just stunning people off of a Jamal Murray behind the back. Now we're getting more separation where a pure playmaker or pure point forward build kind of makes more sense to make, because you could do something that everybody else doesn't have access to. Now for the next thing I noticed is in the NBA 2K25 badge list. If you notice, there's no more bulldozer and there's no more blow by. Now when it comes to those two badges in 2K24, a combination of those two badges allows you to get a lot more like perimeter like bulldozer and push off animations, and in one of the gameplay clips you could see how Jamal Murray kind of like blows by or just gets right past SGA. I don't know if that has to do with his strength or whatever the case may be. So what I think is that blow by is probably intertwined with lightning launch, and bulldozer is either in strong handle, and if not, it's just tied completely into your strength attribute. So what I'm thinking is if you have a decent enough build that could dribble with like silver or gold lightning launch, but then you also have like a 90 strength, then you'll also be able to get a lot of like perimeter bulldozer animations. Now for the next thing that I noticed, if you look in the builder, when the person changed from 6'3 to 6'2 then down to 6'1, if you notice, look at speed and agility. The attributes never change, but then if you look on 2K24, you could see that the speed and the acceleration is changing. Seeing that, and also seeing that your speed doesn't determine like your lightning launch and like what you're doing with the ball, that kind of makes me think like there's a chance that pure sharpshooters are going to be back in the game. So like let's take a look at this build right here. You could see this is like a pretty ball dominant build, but you're going to see that the speed and the agility is only kind of around the 80s. But when we look over here, you're gonna see like the max potential for the speed and the agility is up to like 96, 97. So what I think 2K is doing is they're still giving a range for like people to basically separate themselves. So let's say for example, if you make a pure sharp that isn't gonna dribble like that, you could instead max out the speed, which allows you to just run faster on the break and off the ball, and you could also upgrade your agility, which helps with like your off ball jukes and your off ball movements, instead of being a ball dominant guard that's that's upgrading their ball handle and their speed with ball. So the fact that the speed and agility is like its own category in itself, it's kind of telling me like that's its own archetype. Like if you want to be an off-ball player that's really doing his thing, 2K is giving you a window of you being able to do that. And the next thing you probably didn't notice is that the fast feet badge is gone. And the reason for that is because with this new agility attribute, not only does it affect like your off-ball movements and how you do your off-ball jukes, it also affects your defensive lateral movement. And I feel like them adding this agility attribute is gonna restrict more lockdown builds in comparison to NBA 2K24. So if we look at 2K24, you're gonna see that with only a 77 Excel, you can get fast feet, and that's all you really need to be able to slide good as a lockdown defender. Now you have a whole bunch of more attributes to work with. I could go 99 steal, I'll put the pass act to like a 75. Now you can max out the mid-range to 87, so now you have T-Mac jumper. You could put your standing dunk to a 90, so now you have gold precision dunker with gold rise up. You still have space to max out your strength, so now you have gold immovable. You could put the interior up and your block up, so now you have bronze anchor. You have a lot of space to work with as a lockdown, because you don't need a OD high Excel. It only needs to be a 77. So now if you think about it, in 2K25 now, you're gonna have to incorporate the fact that you need a high Excel, because you don't want to be sliding slow to somebody with like legend or Hall of Fame lightning launch. You want to have your agility up to like 85, 90, so you'll be able to keep up with every sort of guard. So now you have to think, I have to upgrade my speed high, my agility high, my strength high, my perimeter. And we also don't know what badges need a certain amount of agility. So we might see a year where there's gonna be pure lockdowns and you're gonna see like a sharpshooting defender type, or lockdown builds with just gold glove and some dribbling and some shooting. So it's gonna be a couple different variations of builds that we're gonna see. But if you've seen the NBA 2K25 gameplay trailer, be sure to check out my last video where I break down what I think is good and what could go wrong with the NBA 2K25 gameplay.